but I think Manny, at this stage, can rise to that challenge and win the fight.
A crossover star.
I would think probably Manny Pacquiao.
He's 46 years old. He's fought more world champions than most fighters can name in their wildest dreams. And now, with the world watching and his legacy already carved in stone, Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring, chasing one last night of glory. But not everyone thinks it's a good idea, because when Arum speaks, the boxing world listens, and what he just said about Pacquiao's comeback has fans excited, worried, and maybe even a little heartbroken. This isn't just another legend grabbing a quick payday. This is a man who made history, who walked away after decades of war in the ring, and now stands at the edge of something truly dangerous. And Arum, his former promoter, the man who helped turn Pacquiao into a global icon, isn't holding back. Tonight, we break it all down: the hype, the heartbreak, and the warning shot fired by one of boxing's last living titans.
With movement, I think a win by the number of punches that he throws.
Pacquiao's return isn't just another retired fighter dipping his toes back in. It's the chance to rewrite boxing history. Because if he pulls this off, he won't just become the oldest welterweight champion ever, he'll become living proof that time doesn't defeat every legend. Most comebacks feel like vanity projects or desperate cash grabs, but this one is different. Manny isn't fighting in an exhibition halfway across the world for nostalgia's sake. He's stepping into a sanctioned war against a reigning WBC world champion, Mario Barrios. Younger, faster, and riding high on momentum. And cutting through all the noise is one voice from the past: Arum, the legendary promoter who helped turn Pacquiao into a superstar. Stepping forward now not just to endorse or condemn, but to speak with the authority of someone who's seen what happens when great fighters push too far past the edge. This is bigger than just a fight. It's a clash of legacy and reality, of nostalgia and consequence. When someone like Arum breaks his silence, it means there's more at stake than a title. There's history in motion, and maybe even tragedy lurking behind it. It didn't begin with a flashy press conference. It started with something quieter, something personal. A subtle shift in how Manny Pacquiao carried himself after retiring in 2020. Like the ring never really let him go. Like every round still echoed in his bones, calling him back. Not for money, not for fame, but for something unfinished. While the world watched him swap gloves for a suit, trying to build a new kind of legacy in politics, you could still see the fighter behind the speeches, the restless rhythm of a man not done writing his story yet. So he kept training, quietly at first, then harder, sparring, conditioning, moving like someone with something to prove, not to the crowd or the critics, but to himself. By late 2023, when rumors of a return began swirling, they weren't dismissed. They sparked curiosity, cautious excitement, that electric feeling fans get when an old flame reignites. Now, with Freddie Roach back in his corner and leaked footage of blistering mitt-work, lightning footwork, and a body that looks closer to 35 than 46, Pacquiao isn't staging a sideshow. He's preparing for a real fight against a real champion. Whether it's fearless or foolish depends on who you ask, but one thing is clear: the comeback is no longer a rumor, it's a countdown. And Arum knows exactly what that means. Mario Barrios isn't a tune-up fight. He's not a cherry-picked name to flatter a legend's return. He's a dangerous, disciplined, battle-hardened WBC champion who knows how to handle pressure, absorb punishment, and deliver it back with the sharpness of youth and hunger. He's not just younger than Pacquiao. He's part of a generation that grew up watching him, studying him, respecting him, and now steps in the ring not as a student, but as the man who might retire the master for good. Barrios isn't built like the fighters Pacquiao danced around a decade ago. He's rangy, precise, deceptively powerful, and fully adapted to today's faster, leaner, data-driven era of boxing. He may not have Pacquiao's resume, but he's got youth, energy, and a chance to carve his name into history by stopping a living icon. Too many. He seems like the safe choice for Manny's return, but that might be the most dangerous assumption of all. Arum has seen it all. Wars inside the ropes, legends rise and fall, kings dethroned in a single round. When he talks about Manny Pacquiao, it's not as a promoter protecting a brand. It's a someone who helped build the Pacquiao myth from the ground up, who traveled the world with him, sat ringside for his bloodiest victories and hardest defeats, and who understands better than anyone what this comeback truly risked becoming. When Arum spoke about Manny's return, his tone wasn't dismissive or bitter. It was layered with admiration and concern, like a father watching a grown son walk into a fire he might not survive this time. He said plainly he hopes Manny does well, that he wishes him all the luck, but underneath those words was a weight insiders recognized immediately. A coded warning from a man who knows what happens when a fighter's heart says yes, but the body quietly says no. Arum acknowledged Pacquiao still looked sharp, fast on the pads, crisp in training, but he made it clear, sparring isn't combat. Controlled gyms aren't fight night. No amount of muscle memory can turn back the clock when the lights come on. The crowd roars, and real punches fly with bad intentions.
Made him miss, make him pay. Made my down a miss, and then there was no reaction after that.
He brushed off the Amir Khan rumors and confirmed the Barrios fight is real, drawing a line between media speculation and cold reality. He reminded everyone, headlines sell dreams, but the fight doesn't care about nostalgia. Arum has promoted thousands of fights. When he says age is undefeated, it's not a clever line. It's a truth written in blood, and reflexes that fade just enough to cost lives and legacies alike. He doesn't doubt Pacquiao's heart, but he questions the need, the motivation, the wisdom of risking so much when one tiny misstep can echo forever. Maybe most telling of all, Arum didn't say, "Don't do it." He knows Manny wouldn't listen. Instead, by stepping into the spotlight and voicing both his support and his worry, he did something more powerful. He held up a mirror. One that shows not just a fighter chasing glory, but a sport still unsure how to let its heroes walk away whole. In that mirror, Arum sees history repeating, and maybe, just maybe, he wants someone to hear the warning before the bell rings.
You can't keep taking punches to the head without it affecting you as you get old. I mean, I really, I'm worried as far as Manny.
Every comeback has a price, but when it's someone like Manny Pacquiao, a fighter who's already done it all, the question isn't just can he win again? It's is the reward worth the risk? What does he stand to lose if things go wrong? In ways no one wants to say out loud. The truth is, Manny's body isn't at 25 anymore. His hands are still quick, his instincts sharp, but there's a world of difference between training and taking clean punches. From a world-class fighter without consequences, that linger long after the cheers fade. If he wins, it's a seismic moment. A 46-year-old, 8-division champion stepping back under the lights, beating a reigning WBC title holder, rewriting what longevity means in boxing, joining the likes of Bernard Hopkins and George Foreman, whose final acts turned into new legends. But if he loses, not just on points, but badly, decisively, it won't just bruise his record. It could change how his entire career is remembered. Fans and pundits will ask why a man who had nothing left to prove came back and risked everything for one more roar. Bob Arum knows this double edge better than anyone. He's seen fighters win that final battle and become immortal. He's also seen them carried out under bright lights, stunned, broken, hurt in ways that never fully heal, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. That's the real danger Pacquiao now faces, not just a loss, but a loss that could rewrite the ending of his story, not as the lion who walked away on his own terms, but as the warrior who stayed one round too long. Legacy is fragile. It can take 20 years to build, but one bad night can shake it loose. And yet, that's the exact danger that makes legends lace up the gloves one more time. For someone like Manny Pacquiao, greatness isn't measured by safety. It's measured by how close you're willing to get to the edge, and whether you can stand there without falling.
At this stage, can rise to that challenge and win the fight. I think he had.
The moment Manny Pacquiao's comeback shifted from rumor to reality, the boxing world split in two. On one side, fans who grew up watching him conquer 8 weight classes erupted with excitement, convinced that if anyone can defy time and pull off one last miracle, it's Manny for them. This isn't just a comeback. It's a chance to rewrite the story one last time before the curtain falls for good. Training camp footage only added fuel. Flashes of the old speed, the old rhythm, the old warrior spirit. But not everyone is cheering. A growing chorus of realists, ex-fighters, trainers, analysts, even younger boxers who idolize Pacquiao are asking the same uneasy question. Is this really about glory, or is it about refusing to let go? Even the son of Mike Tyson joined the conversation. worried that this could end like so many comebacks do, with a warning instead of a win. Sugar Ray Leonard weighed in too, quietly reminding everyone that being in shape isn't the same as being fight-ready, especially after years away from real punishment.
Just any advice from him at all? Just be healthy and do what you think you can do. It's a hard thing to.
Online, the debate is fierce. Some celebrate the return of a legend. Others point to the long list of icons who couldn't outrun time. And now, with Bob Arum voicing both pride and concern, this fight feels bigger than just a title. It's about the price of legacy and how far one man will go to protect it, or gamble it in front of the whole world. With the fight now set for July 19th in Las Vegas, the countdown has begun, not for just another bout, but for a night that feels bigger than belts, rankings, or paydays. The pre-fight rhythm is already familiar. Wild card gym montages, slow-motion pad work with Freddie Roach, sparring partners struggling to match Manny's footwork, sound bites feeding the hype. But beneath it all is a different tension. This isn't the young Pacquiao sprinting to the ring with nothing to lose. This feels like a story circling back on itself, echoing the same fire he carried into De La Hoya, the same urgency before Thurman, but with the weight of years pressing down. Bob Arum's words have only deepened that narrative, not just as commentary from a former promoter, but as emotional context from someone who helped build the legend, and now watches it continue without him. Proud, but worried. His warning won't fade quietly. It will shape press conference questions, media week chatter, and every pre-fight commentary reel. Because this fight isn't just about whether Manny can still win, it's about whether he still belongs. And when that first bell rings, the headlines will vanish, the predictions will fade, and only the truth will remain, waiting in the center of the ring. This isn't just a fight, it's a statement, a test of whether greatness can defy time or whether the price of chasing it is too steep even for the best. If Manny pulls this off, if he beats a reigning champion after nearly 4 years away, the message will echo far beyond the ropes that age can be challenged, that hunger doesn't have to fade, that the impossible can happen. But if the risk overtakes the reward, it becomes something else, a cautionary tale, a brutal reminder that boxing doesn't protect legacies gently, it tests them until they break. Either way, what happens on July 19th will ripple outward, changing how comebacks are judged, how pride and permanence collide, and what the sport demands from its heroes. This isn't just about whether Manny Pacquiao can still fight. It's about whether boxing will let its icons become champions. Again, a reminders of what should have stayed in the past. So here we are, less than a month away from what could be one of the most unforgettable, unpredictable nights in modern boxing. A living legend stepping back into the fire, not for money, not for fame, but because something deep inside refuses to be done. And as Bob Arum watches from the sidelines, half hopeful, half haunted, we're all left to wonder what kind of ending this fight will write. Will it be one final blaze of glory, the kind that cements Pacquiao's story as the greatest comeback ever told? Or will it be a hard lesson about knowing when to let go? Either way, the countdown is on, and you don't want to miss what happens when the bell rings and history steps back into the ring.
Back and forth they go. Manny landing most of the shots.